Welcome to Normal Baseball's top 10 second baseman list heading into the 2023 MLB season. Let's get into it. What's going on? Welcome back to Normal Baseball. I'm Alex Normal Dog. That's Lewis. And today we are going over our top 10 second basemen for the 2023 MLB season. This is pretty self-explanatory. We each have top 10 lists of second basemen going into this season, and we're going to be going over our lists, seeing what we have in common, seeing what we have different, and talking a little bit about the second baseman that you will see in baseball this season. Lewis, are you ready?
I am ready. Let's jump right into it. You want to give me your number
I got
10?
my second baseman mitt.
You do.
This is giving me good fortune today. The Robbie Cano mitt. Robbie Cano, rest in peace. He's not dead, but
his MLB career is almost.
I'll start with my number 10. I'm down to start.
Yeah, please do. Please do.
My number 10 pick is a guy who didn't play much last season.
Okay.
It is from the Tampa Bay Rays, Brandon Lowe. Brandon Lowe only played in 65 games last season, batted .221 with a .691 OPS, but he was injured for a lot of the season. Like I said, only played 65 games. But in those 65 games, 8 homers, 10 doubles. Not the greatest defender. He had a back injury last year, which is what kept him out for a long time. But if he can be healthy and come back to his 2021 form, which was the last full healthy season we saw of him, and I'm to be honest, the only full season of his career, besides the shortened season, but in that 2021 season, I mean, he had 39 home runs, 31 doubles, he batted .247. Like, he was a very, very good player.
Yeah.
I think if we can see him return in that form, he'll be an amazing addition to the Rays lineup, something that they were missing last season. I want to see big-time power from Brandon Lowe next season, because second baseman with big-time power, I like that personally. So I'm excited to see that. I think he'll be good next year. I want him to hit 35 homers, and I want him to have 30 doubles, 29 doubles. I want him to have a really good year. So he just scratched number 10, mostly because he missed all of last year, and yes, he wasn't great in those 65 games he played, but he was injured for a lot of the season, so some of those underlying injuries might have affected some of that. So he comes in at my number 10 for this season.
All right. I will admit I did leave him off my off my top 10 because of his injuries. However, I do understand that. I believe that if he did have another full season under his belt, that we would be talking about him in my top 10 as well. But sadly, did not make the cut for me. But I completely understand where you're coming from with that.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I just feel like, especially on that Rays team, where it's a team where you might say, like, hey, yeah, this team not as great as many people might think anymore. But, like, Brandon Lowe, if he can be who he was in 2021, that is a really, really good player, especially for that Rays lineup. And that infield, I like it. So I'm banking on him being good next season.
Yeah, I like that. I like that a lot. And I'll get behind that. I can understand that being at your top 10. In your top 10 at number 10.
Who was your number 10?
My number 10 was Brendan Rodgers of the Colorado Rockies.
Knew it was coming.
I'm just very high on him. He did win his first ever Gold Glove last season, which is a good improvement. I mean, and honestly, I'll just go out and say it, that although his numbers don't look the absolute best, the eye test and just seeing how he plays, especially him offensively, you know that a good breakout season is coming. Especially since last season he did lead the National League in double plays grounded into. Very Angels Albert Pujols-esque of him. However, I will say that I think now with the shift ban and the shift being limited, I should say, we're going to see a little bit less of that from him and more singles and more hits in general. So I'm looking forward to seeing him play, and I believe that he will be a top 10 second baseman in this league next year. This upcoming season, I should say.
Okay. I like it. I like how you're high on a guy who he might not be on many people's radar.
Yeah.
I like how he just scrapes in at number 10. I like that you're not kind of going overboard on saying how good he'll be next season.
Mm-hmm. I think it's where he should be in my mind.
Yeah.
Like I could not put him any higher. I hope that I can next season. I hope I can put him at number 1, as I do with every guy on all my lists. I think they all have potential to be number 1.
Yeah, that's fair. I don't know if I wouldn't say all the guys on my list have the potential to be number 1. I mean, yes, technically anyone has the potential to be number 1, but I like Brendan Rodgers. I think maybe the course effect might help him out a little bit. Yeah. But he, as a Gold Glover, like you said, can't say I knew that he won the Gold Glove last season. Brendan Rodgers won the Gold Glove. That just
at second base, yeah.
That kind of
in the National League.
That's nice. That's good.
Yeah, very good.
Good for him.
You know the defense is there, and if the offense picks up a little bit with the shift band, I believe it will.
So, I mean, even then, he batted .266, so
yeah,
pretty good.
I
like Brendan Rodgers there.
As do I.
I didn't have him on my list personally, but
yeah,
I feel like it could be a hit or miss. I really wanted Brendan Lau on there. I really wanted Brendan Lau on there just because he's coming back off an injury, and I'd love to see him play good again. So
I get that.
Yep. Do you wanna give me your number 9?
No, I want you to give me your number 9.
Okay. My number 9 on my top 10 second baseman comes in, might be a little low for some people. Cover your ears, Twins fans. It's Jorge Polanco.
You put Jorge Polanco on this list?
Yeah, number 9. He definitely has the potential to have a really good bounce back season. Last season, in 104 games, he hit .235 with a .750 OPS. He had a 2.8 WAR, only 16 homers, 16 doubles, but again, only 104 games as well. 119 WRC plus. He's not a good defender by any means, but he had a very down year in 2022. I do want to point out that his home and away splits last season were like night and day. At home in Minnesota last season, he had a .271 batting average and an .831 OPS. Mind you, his final batting average was .235, and at home he had a .271 batting average. And on the road, he had a .198 batting average and a .671 OPS. If he can play better on the road, he'll be a really, really good second baseman. Okay. Because, I mean, batting .271 with an .831 OPS at home is really good. If you can, I get that maybe not at home, you'll have a little worse stats, but if you can even come a little bit close, that's a lot better numbers. And I feel like his numbers were really deflated because of how he played on the road. He did have a knee injury from last season, but he said it's feeling fine. In spring training so far. I think he'll play a lot better than he did last season. I think he's going to have a really good bounce back year.
Okay.
Why? Okay. What's so funny?
The glove.
My glove?
You're throwing it around.
What do you know? It's Robbie Cano.
But yeah, okay. I can understand that. However, I don't think that...
Let me guess. So you don't have him on your list.
He does not make an appearance on my list so far.
So then who's your number 9?
My number 9 is maybe a little bit of a shock. Jonathan India. Cincinnati Reds. Yeah. I have him on my list at number 9 only because he should be higher if he were to have played the whole season. He only played 103 games last year, where he obviously was not playing 100% injury-free. He was definitely dealing with some stuff throughout the entire season. I don't remember what it was, but I do know that he missed a lot of time. Obviously, he only played 103 games. I
do want to say, I think the only early argument I can make is he missed the time in the beginning of the season. Mm-hmm. His time missed was he didn't play any games before he came back. Like, once he came back, I think he played most of the rest of the season.
Yeah, but even then, I still don't think that he was playing at 100% when he did come back, is what I'm saying, because I will admit that I did watch a little bit too many Cincinnati Reds games, because I feel like they were just always in the 1 o'clock slot. And it just wound up that I was watching them.
They're the Reds.
So it was interesting to see because you could tell that he just wasn't 100% himself. His numbers took a little bit of a fall off from his Rookie of the Year season in 2021. He hit .249 with a .705 OPS to a .91 OPS plus. Not the Jonathan India that we know that won Rookie of the Year. But I think going into this next season, he has plenty to prove, being on a very, very lackluster Cincinnati Reds team. I think that he will improve, look good, and I'm excited to see what he does this season, which brings him to my number 9.
That's fair. I left him off my list just
Could see
because
that.
he did play a little less games last year, and he did get worse, which, looking back, if you're getting worse right after your rookie season, it's a little bit... I mean, you can understand it, especially coming off an injury, but it is a little bit concerning. He did just miss my list. He was gonna be my number 10 until I remembered that Brandon Lau existed. So I did not have India on my list, but he was in high consideration. If he can have a better year this year, then I'd love to see that.
Yeah. I believe in him more than I believe in Jorge Polanco.
His counting stats also went down a little bit. I mean, his RBIs were on pace to probably have more, but only 10 home runs in 103 games, only 16 doubles as opposed,
But again, from what I watched, it just did not look like he was playing fully healthy. Like, it didn't look like he was willing to make that slide, that dive, that, try to get it in off the hands. Like that, just like the little things that you could tell that he just wasn't 100% himself. And I think that was because of injury. That's the way that I look at it.
All right, you do you.
Thank you.
I
planned.
I can't say I would have predicted you to be watching Jonathan in India and noting in your head.
I did notice it
little minute details.
And you know why? Is because I would watch most of the 1:00 games were when I was at work, and I actually watched a couple of the games with my boss where we both noticed it and we took it into an account, which I thought was pretty funny.
Okay. All right, I'll believe it.
Yeah.
So we both did our number 9 and 10, and neither of them were the same.
Yeah. Neither of them were even on each other's lists.
Yeah, exactly.
This will be fun.
This could be fun. I feel like once we get towards
I don't know.
higher, we're gonna have definitely the same players.
I don't know. I got some underrated guys up here.
So do I. Sorry, my little Post-it notes that I have for each player, they're hard to take off with the glove. Do you want to do yours first? Or you want me to do mine?
No, you do your number 8 first. Please.
So I'll just do all mine first. Okay, gotcha. So my number 8 best second baseman in baseball for the 2023 season, I have from the Los Angeles Dodgers, Gavin Lux. He will be playing second all of next season pretty much. And I think he's not great defensively, but that's mostly because he doesn't have a great arm. But he'll be playing second base now this season, so hopefully his defense will be good. Last season, in 129 games, he batted .276 with a 745 OPS, 113 WRC+, a 2.5 WAR, 6 homers, 20 doubles, 42 RBIs, and 47 walks. The guy is only going to get better. I expect him to have a really good offensive season. He's 25 years old. He's still got time to get even better, which I think he will. He led the league in triples in 2022. He had, I believe, 7. I would like to see more power or more steals. I want to see him embrace either a power position or a let me run kind of position. I'd rather him not be in the limbo zone of like he can do both of them decently well or like a little bit well. I think next year he'll play 142 games at second. He'll play somewhere around. He'll play a lot of games next season. I think his batting average will go up a little bit. I think his OPS will get up because, like I said, I want to see a little bit more power. I think he'll have 16 home runs. I want 16 home runs next season from you, Gavin Lux. I think he'll have a 30-double season too, giving him the time. The guy can hit doubles. He can hit. I like Gavin Lux for next season, and that's why I have him at my number 8 best second baseman in baseball.
Okay, well, just to before I comment on anything, we just got through 1/6 of the lead second baseman, and not one of them match each other's list. I did not have Gavin Lux on my list.
You don't have Gavin Lux anywhere on your list?
I don't.
Reasoning?
That is simply because I feel like we've just been saying it for too long that Gavin Lux needs that breakout year. And if there was any year to have it, it would be this year because, Trey Turner's now gone. It's not so much as a Dodgers super team as we imagined it to be.
It's only the we haven't been saying it for a long time.
It's been like 2 years, 3 years now.
Yeah, it's only this. That was only the second year of his. That was only the second full year of his career.
So this is the third year that we're.
This will be his third full year. Yes.
So
I think he has broken out. I think he's proven that he is a major league starter.
Yes, I agree. But
he's also seven. He's also eighth on my list. So it's not like I'm putting him at number 4, saying he's going to have an amazing season.
I understand that, but he did not make my list. But I will be rooting for him. I just feel like we kind of know what we're getting a little bit more out of him. However, if he makes the adjustments like you're saying of becoming either a speed guy, like a contact guy, or a power guy, I definitely think if he embraces one of those roles more, I could definitely see him moving up on my list.
Yeah, I'd like him to head to more of the contact kind of guy. Mm-hmm. I think that's where he most fits. So I'm excited to see that. But he did crack number 8 on my list. Who's number 8 on your 100%. List then? Let's see if I have this guy anywhere on my list.
Number 8, I would hope that you do, but it would not be surprising if you did not. Number 8 on my list is Ozzie Albies of the Atlanta Braves. Not on your list.
Did not crack the list.
All right. This is fun. So I put Ozzie Albies up here because, one, he's more proven than some of the other younger guys in the league. You have to remember, Ozzie Albies started his professional career at the age of 20, back in 2017, which feels like forever ago. Last season, he had a very depressing championship run. After winning the World Series in 2021, his 2022 was riddled with injury.
Championship hangover.
Yeah, he broke his hand, and then he spends all this time rehabbing and getting back. And I think it was like his second or third game after getting back to the major league level, back with the Braves team, getting ready to try to go on another championship run. He broke his hand again on, I think it was a hit by pitch, but I'm not 100% sure. I just know that there were a lot of setbacks with his 2022 campaign, and I think coming back off an injury, he, one, is going to have a good season no matter what, because he's going to be healthy, and 2, I think he understands the pressure of needing to perform now that his middle infield teammate, Dansby Swanson, is now gone, and I think that with how energetic and how much fun Ozzie Albies is as a person, not so much, and not even a baseball player, I think he realizes that, hey, like, that offensive production is up to me now, and I want to be that guy, and I think that he can be.
This is the second time in these lists already, and this is our third one, that Braves fans are going to hate me. I do regret not having him on my top 10 list.
It's okay to not have him on just because his 2022 was, like, forgettable. Not to say forgettable in a bad way.
But at the same time, in 2021, he played the full season, had 30 home runs and 40 doubles. So I do think I should have had him. Because in the 64 games he did play, he had 8 homers, 16 doubles. Like, he still did play pretty well.
Yeah.
I think maybe looking back, I would have had him over Jorge Polanco. He would have been my...
But you're committed to your list.
Oh, yeah. He would have been my number 8, probably. Slide Gavin Lux down. I still would have kept Brandon Lau at my number 10, and then he would have been my number 8. So, Braves fans, I'm very sorry I forgot about Ozzie Albies, but I do think he deserves to be on this list.
All right.
Don't get it twisted. And Braves fans are going to hate me after the Matt Olson situation.
Yeah.
But, yeah, so...
I put him at my number
8. Okay. So far, nothing is the same.
We have gotten through 6 second basemen in this league. 6 starting second basemen in this league, and not one of us think that they're top 10 going the other way.
You said that very confusingly.
On my list, you don't think any of my players are top 10.
There you go.
On your list, I don't think any of those players are top 10.
Yeah, no, we've had discrepancies.
That's fun.
Let's see if we can change it up with number 7. I know for a fact you have this guy on your list.
Okay.
No matter how much you try to maybe convince me that you don't, I know you have him on your list.
Come on.
I think from here on we're gonna have a lot of the same guys on the list.
I hope so.
My number 7 is from the St. Louis Cardinals, Brendan Donovan.
Oh shit.
Yeah, I don't believe you.
No. I marked him utility. I did not put him second base.
I think he'll be their second baseman this season.
Ooh,
I think he will play second base for them this season more than others.
Okay. Okay. Go ahead. Give me your reasoning.
Is that not fair?
I don't know. I just don't know where they're gonna play him. I don't.
Last season, you could make the the thing that Nolan Gorman is going to be their second baseman a lot.
That's who I thought was going to be
But
the second baseman.
he didn't. I think Brendan Donovan played significantly better than him and deserves it more. And he deserves to not be a utility guy anymore. He was a high contention for the Rookie of the Year in the NL last season. I think he will be playing second base majority of the games for the Cardinals this season.
Okay.
So that's why he's on my second base list. I did see the argument for, because he played outfield, he played a couple other
He played
infield.
like 7 positions.
Exactly, he played everywhere, but I think they will start to put him into one position. I think he'll play second base this season.
Okay. I labeled him utility because I still think that he plays so well everywhere that I didn't put him on my second baseman's list. But if I would have thought that he was strictly going to be a second baseman, he would definitely make my list.
Yeah, I don't know. I see him as a second baseman. I think if the Cardinals want to respect, it's more of a, I respect him. I think he should be getting reps at one single position. I think it's best for him rather than moving around the field. Brendan Donovan, we haven't even gotten into it. He's 26 years old. He was a rookie last year. He had a really, really good season. Batted .281 in 126 games. Had a 129 WRC plus. A 4.1 WAR as a rookie. Really, really good.
Really good.
Only 5 home runs, so he's not a big power guy, but 21 doubles and 60 walks. He gets on base a ton. He had a 394 on base percentage, but he's not a big home run guy, which is why his OPS is a little towards. I mean, it's still 773, but
without being a home run.
But without being a home run hitter, exactly, because he gets on base a lot. It's hard to gauge defense, like I said, because he just kind of plays defense good everywhere.
Mm-hmm.
I want to see how he could play defense at second base for a whole season, which I really do hope he'll be playing second base for them this season, majority of the games. And I hope he has a good follow-up season. And I hope he plays a significant role in the Cardinals team for them to be even more of a contender than they were last season. Obviously getting knocked out early in the wild card series last season, not what they wanted to be doing. So they're on a mission this season to have a better season, be a better contender. I think he'll have 40 doubles this season. I think he'll have a 5.3 WAR. 133 WRC plus. I think he's going to get even better next season. And I think there's a lot to look up for Brendan Donovan. So he is number 7 on my list.
All right. I get behind that. If they do lock him in at second base, then no reasonable doubt as to why he should be on the top 10 second baseman's list. I think he's definitely a top 5 utility guy in the league, bare minimum. And if he does stick to second base, then he will definitely be considered a top 10 second baseman in my book.
Okay.
Yep. As for my number 7.
Yeah, who was your number 7?
My number 7, I put newly acquired to the boys down south, Luis Arias of the Miami Marlins. With Jazz Chisholm moving to center field, Luis Arias is going to be their everyday second baseman. So I put him in at my number 7 spot. I think he's going to do really well. He's coming off of the best season of his career, without a doubt. Won a batting title, played 144 games. Yes, did move around a lot. However, he did play the most games at second base. Just a really good player. He had a 795 OPS with a 130 OPS plus. Below league average on OPS, but above league average on OPS plus. Is pretty interesting because Luis Arias, like Brendan Donovan, not a power guy.
No.
So those numbers don't really speak for how he is when it comes to him at the plate, but he's really, really good. I mean, in 144 games last year, he had 43 strikeouts. He sees the ball really well, and he's going to be in a sneaky good Marlins lineup that I hope can exceed everyone's expectations. And last but certainly not least, and I have it written down here, always ride with the boys down south. Always.
I agree. I had him at my number 6.
Finally.
So we finally had the same player on our list.
It took us seven different second basemen to get there.
He was my number 6 second baseman. I love the average. The lack of power obviously is there. But he's not a good defender at second, which did kind of bother me a little bit. Yes, always ride with the boys down south. That OPS plus thing is kind of crazy, and the OPS thing. 31 doubles this season. He doesn't strike out. He barely strikes out, which I absolutely...
He refuses to strike out.
I love that about him. And I think he will have a little bit worse of a season next year, but I think overall it will still be a good season. Don't get it wrong. But yeah, he's with the boys down south now, and I'm looking forward to seeing him. He's my number 6 player on my list.
All right.
Luis Arias.
That's cool. So you've gotten through your 10 through 6, and I've gotten through my 10 through 7.
Give me your 6.
So I'm on 6. Number 6, and I would pray to God that you have him up here. Gleyber Torres of the New York Yankees. He is in my top 10, coming in at number 6. He came off a really good second half, especially last season when the entire other parts of the Yankees offense, especially into the playoffs, slumped a lot. What's the matter?
No, go for it.
Gleyber Torres really shined through, and I think that he's going to do great. This is his kind of breakout year, and if you're at all involved with the Yankees and are a fan of them, you'll know that since the offseason started, the talk of the town has been pay Gleyber Torres because he doesn't deserve to have his name in trade talks. I think he's a great second baseman in this league, and I'm looking forward to seeing what he does this upcoming season.
He's my number 5.
Okay. I'm like one behind you.
140 games. Yeah, you're one behind me. 140 games. Batted 250. That means that you have someone, you guaranteed have someone that I don't have on here.
Maybe.
I mean, I'm up to my top 4. You're on your top 5. So.
Yeah, you're right.
So, batted 257 last season with the 761 OPS. I think that was his first season, full season at second base after the whole shortstop second base dilemma that he had. He's so much more comfortable at second base. I think his power will continue to rise this season. We know he hit 38 home runs in 2019. He can get back to there. I think with this bounce back season, he will bounce even more. He'll continue to bounce. He'll get even better this upcoming season. He strikes out a lot. I hope he can bring that down a little bit, stop chasing pitches, just be a little more disciplined at the plate. I'd like to see him have over 30 home runs this season and over 30 doubles. I'd really like to see that from him and put together a nice 5-WAR season, Gleyber. Yeah. He's only 26.
I think
Baby Glabe.
The most exciting part about Gleyber Torres is that although I think it's pretty locked in that he is going to see being the second baseman at opening day, I think down the stretch, depending on what the Yankees want to do with their younger prospects, he could move into a DH role depending on how the season's going, who's going to what position, how they're going to play it around, because, Gleyber Torres' bat is just as valuable as anybody else's bat in the league, honestly. He bats pretty well.
It depends on what they want to do with him.
Yeah.
It depends on how it plays out. I think he'll be their second baseman all year. I don't think there's any doubt about it for me.
We'll have to see.
Even with the young guys, I think he'll be there all year.
We'll have to see.
Listen, I know the Yankees have a lot of young guys in the minor. I know they have Volpe. I know they have Peraza. I know they have, Oswaldo's probably going to be an outfielder, but stop saying we'll see. Let me talk. Gleyber, if he's putting together a really nice season, they have Giancarlo, who is their bona fide DH for the most part. When you have a guy like Gleyber who can play second base, and he plays a good defensive second base, they're not going to kick him out of the starting second baseman role when he's having a really good season just because they want to bring up a rookie. That's my thought on it.
I get that. I think there's a world where it happens, and I think if anybody in the Yankees starting lineup would be open to it and willing to do it, I think it would be Gleyber Torres.
I disagree, but that's just me.
We'll have to find out.
We will, and I think that's wrong. So.
All right.
Yeah, Gleyber Torres.
Well, so that's your 5. So now I have 5, you have 4, so I guess I have to do my 5 now.
Yeah, who's your 5?
And this is where we even out. At 5, I have another young prospect, Nolan Gorman, comes into my 5.
Don't have him.
Yep. You put Brendan Donovan. I believe still that Nolan Gorman is going to be the second baseman. Yes, he did not play really well in his rookie season. He batted
233.
Yeah, he batted 230
or 226.
226.
Horrible.
With a 721 OPS, but in 106 OPS plus. Yes, it's not the best. However, I do think that he has so much upside and so much potential that we could see him just be a really, really solid bat in what is a very, very good St. Louis Cardinals lineup. So you don't need to be a 300-plus hitter, but I think that he definitely has more power. He has the ability defensively to become the starting second baseman and stay there for the Cardinals. And that's where we differ in opinions, because Brendan Donovan, yes, I think that if I strictly said Brendan Donovan were a second baseman, he would definitely make it over Nolan Gorman, but I thought that Nolan Gorman would be their second baseman.
even then, I don't think Nolan Gorman is a top 5 second baseman in this league.
I believe in him. That's where...
I understand that, but with that rookie season that he just put together, it's not... I can't say it's promising to say that he'll jump out the next season and be a top 5 second baseman in baseball. I think that's a bit of a jump. I think that's a bit of an unrealistic jump, but you never know.
I understand that.
I mean, when you look at Brendan Donovan, he came in 3rd in Rookie of the Year voting. That's really all I have to say.
Yeah.
He's going to play second base for them next season.
Okay. Well, we'll have to see what they do with him. Because
a lot of young talent on these teams nowadays. It's hard to get people reps when you have, like, they're in a tough spot. Yeah. So, I don't know.
We'll see what they do.
We'll see. But I personally disagree. So now we're both on our top 4.
Yeah.
And it's even.
It's even.
So I
feel
feel like
we should have all the same.
These will all be the same. I don't know if the order will all be the same.
They might be. They might be. They should. In my head, they should be. Does that make sense?
All right. Well, we'll see. My number 4. Or do you want me to go? Or do you?
Yeah, you know. I've been going first too many.
My number 4, second baseman for the 2023 MLB season. I have Andres Jimenez from the Cleveland Guardians. Yes, number 4. You might have thought he would have been higher. The guy in 146 games just had a breakout season, batted .297 with an .837 OPS, 140 WRC+, 7.4 WAR, which is insanely good, 17 homers, 26 doubles. He's extremely good defensively as well. He doesn't really walk that much, but he does make a lot of contact, which makes up for it, obviously.
Yes.
He can steal a lot of bases. And he's a big part of the young Guardians core from the last couple of years. He's only 24 years old. I expect him to have an even better season next year in all parts of his game. I think he's going to get better tenfold next year.
I completely agree with that, and that's why Andres Jimenez came in at my number 2 spot. And I think that the only thing that I really need to say that you did not say that could back up the reasoning as to why I have him at 2, posted a 7.4 WAR season.
Yeah. I understand.
Amazing. I mean, he raised his batting average by .079 points in one single season. Just absolutely great. Stole 20 bases and played some of the best second base defense I've ever seen. I just think that as long as he maybe even lowers his strikeouts a bit more, just because I know him, I think we all know him to be a contact guy. If he lowers that even more, it's just there's no reason as to why he could not even, dare I say, go for the number 1 spot by the end of the year.
Fair.
In my book, that is.
What really, I mean, I'm not going to say it until I get to kind of the next couple guys. I like you said, 7.4 WAR is incredible, especially for a second baseman.
You don't just run into that type of thing.
No.
At second base.
No, not at all. But I think my reasoning for the other guys makes sense. I mean, who was your number 4? Because I still think my top 3 are going to be in your top 4. So
the top 4, I think,
who was your 4?
Interchangeable. My 4 was Marcus Semien from the Texas Rangers, just because of the really, really, really slow start that he got off to in the beginning of the 2022 season. Though he did really turn it around, and he still played great defense throughout the entire year, I will admit that he was shifted against a lot last season as a lefty, so luckily that's going away this upcoming season, so we might see more ground balls get through for him or more bloop fly balls. But one thing to note is that he saw off-speed pitches and breaking balls really well. He hit 400 against them. It's just the issue that he had was that in the beginning of the season, he just couldn't catch the fastball. But as soon as he caught a couple in a row, like during the middle of the season, you could tell that he was on it, and that's when he started to come right back to me.
Yeah, I also think the team change kind of hurt him in the beginning of the year.
Mm-hmm.
Marcus Semien was my number 3.
Okay.
I expect him to have a really, really good season. The reason I put him over Jimenez was because he was considered to have a bad year this season, right? He batted .248, had a .733 OPS.
A little bit below what we wanted from him.
Right. He only had a 107 WRC+, for God's sake. And people called it a bad year. He still had a 5.9 B-WAR.
Yeah.
In a bad year where he had a 107 WRC+, his batting average was low. His on-base percentage was low. His OPS was low. I fully believe that same guy who hit 45 home runs in 2021, he's still there.
He is.
He played much better in the second half in terms of getting on base. He hit 239 in the first half of last season. He hit 259 in the second half, a whole 20 points higher. And he had a 297 on base percentage in the first half, 312 in the second half, very significantly higher. This is the good one. A 697 OPS in the first half, a 777 OPS in the second half. Went up tremendously. I expect him to have a monster season at second base for the Rangers. I'm wearing a Rangers second baseman right now, but it's not Marcus Semien. But I expect him to play every single game next season. He missed one game last season. I expect him to play 162 next season. I think he'll bat 260. I think he'll have a 900 OPS. I think he'll have 40 homers, 35 doubles, 93 RBIs, and I think he'll hit 6.5 WAR. I think he's going to have an amazing season in terms of counting stats, and I think his averages will go up too.
Yeah.
So I think he'll have an amazing season.
I completely agree with you. Just I can't put him that high after such a really bad slump in terms of Marcus Semien standards. I just can't put him in my top 3.
Really bad slump in terms of Marcus Semien standards. 5.9 more last season.
Yeah.
That says something.
I know. I completely agree with you. He's still a great second baseman. So that was your number 3. So you just have 2 and 1 left, right?
Yeah. What do you have left? 3?
I have 3, 2 and 1. I have 3 and 1 left.
3 and 1. So who's your number 3? It's going to be my number 2.
Yeah. My number 3 is Jeff McHitz. McNeil.
Jeff McNeil is my number 2.
Yep. Jeff McHitz. I mean, he really just found his groove last season in the 2022 season. The Flying Squirrel. He was just a key piece in what seemed to just be the constant success of the New York Mets. Yes, they did blow a 10.5 game lead, but that wasn't because the Mets lost a lot. It was because the Braves just simply put on the most winningest performance a second half team has ever. Really was amazing. He won an NL batting title with batting .326. He beat out Freddie Freeman for the NL batting title and the lead batting title if we want to really get down to the nitty-gritty of it. He really just didn't strike out. He struck out just a little bit more than he did in his 2021 season, but his bat to ball, his ability to find the outfield grass and find hits where no one else thought they could was really impressive. All he needs to do is literally do the same exact thing. If he regresses even a little bit, that's okay. And I want him to just steal a few more bases. He only stole 4 bases last season, but if he does exactly who we know Jeff McNeil to do, know Jeff McNeil who he is, if he just does the same thing, I will be more than happy with him.
I agree. I had him on number 2 on my list. Obviously, man won the batting title. He has said that he's focused on just making contact with the ball and getting on base. He's not looking to hit home runs. Yes, he'll run into them, but he just wants to make contact, get on base. And like you said, does not strike out a lot. He does not walk too much either. He just hits the ball. It's as simple as he's a hit machine. Jeff McHitz. There's a reason that's why they call him it. Yep. He has above average defense too, as should be mentioned.
Oh, totally.
But he's coming off a career year, should have another one as long as his focus stays on let me get on base as much as possible. Let me just get hits like I can. If there's men on, that's great. I'll drive them in. If there's no one on, I'll get on so they can drive me in.
Yeah. I like that, and I think a 140 OPS plus with a 836 OPS is just really, really good, and I'm looking forward to him maybe even upping those numbers a little bit more because, again, another lefty that did get shifted a lot, especially towards the second half of the season. So hopefully now with the shift limitations, we're going to see him thrive even more down the stretch.
Especially, again, on a team, I said this in the other one, the one we just did, on a Mets team that's looking to win a World Series. Mm-hmm. That's their goal. You have to be as good as you can be, and I think he'll continue to be as good as he can possibly play.
Yeah, part of the Mets firing on all cylinders is Jeff McNeil's success at the plate.
Yeah, I think it's fair to say that if he plays, I'd say if he plays almost every game, he will lead baseball in hits next season. I think he'll have the most hits in baseball.
Okay.
And I think he'll contend for the batting title again. Dare I say, win it again. So I love Jeff McNeil. I think he's doing great things in New York. And yeah, 30 years old, got that extension. Yeah. He's having fun. Good for Jeff McNeil. Clap.
Attaboy, Jeff.
Good job, Jeff. So that leaves our number 1, and we both have the same guy. You want to say it on 3? Was this the first one that we both have the same one? Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's say it on 3.
Okay.
Let's say the actual one.
Yeah.
Okay. 3, 2, 1.
Jose
Jose
Altuve.
Altuve. Jose
Cut and
Altuve is the best second baseman in baseball. Year after year, he just kind of proves it. This is, yes, Jeff McNeil gets on base a lot. He gets a lot of hits. Jose Altuve had a 300 batting average last season in 141 games, but also had a 921 OPS. The man has power. He had a 164 WRC plus. That is incredible. 28 homers, 39 doubles. He's a good defender. He's a above average defender at second.
He's been one of the most consistent defenders if you just take out the 2022 postseason, which I think everyone...
2022 postseason?
I mean, 2020 postseason. My apologies.
That's
which
in the
just
past.
like
That's
it's in the past, and
I don't think it
makes
needs
sense.
to be mentioned.
Yeah, it just. But if you take out that, he's been one of the most consistent on both sides of the ball since what 2017, 2016.
Since ever.
Yeah, like
Since ever.
He's just been great on both sides of the ball, and even if we literally get a carbon copy, exact same version of Jose Altuve this upcoming season in the 2023 season, I think that's a perfect start to a repeat title for the Astros.
Yeah, I agree. He's the heart. He's the heart of the Astros. He's been there since 2011. Mm-hmm. He's had these high batting average. Hell, in 2017, he batted 346. He can hit for high average. His average did only 300 this year, which is crazy to say. Only 300. Yeah. In 2021, he batted 278, so he did technically get better last season from the season prior. I think he'll get even better next season. I think he'll just continue to have amazing seasons. I think he'll have 30 homers. I think he'll have 40 doubles. I think he'll just continue to be the heart of this championship team, and he's going to be a big part of why the Astros are looking to go back-to-back this season.
If they want to go back-to-back, I think the biggest key is just making sure that all the guys who succeeded in the 2022 season succeed again, and the most important one of them being their cornerstone, their franchise player in Jose Altuve.
Yeah. So, does that do it for our second base list? Any honorable mentions?
Honorable mentions. I mean, for me, Brendan Donovan, certainly. I just considered him more utility, and yeah, that's really it.
One of my biggest honorable mentions, Ketel Marte. Mm-hmm. He can be very, very good. He just missed for me just because he has gotten a little worse in the last couple years. So he did miss for me just a little bit. But I think overall, I really did like my list. I think my list was pretty good. Obviously, Jonathan India, too. Just a couple guys there. So Jose Altuve, definitely the best first baseman in baseball. And then from there, there's a lot of guys. I think what we learned from this episode is there's a lot of good second basemen in baseball.
Yeah, just keep watching the games and notice that, it's going to be a really fun season upcoming, especially if you're going to be looking at the second base position.
I agree.
Yep.
Well, that does it.
That does
That does it for this episode. That was our top 10 second basemen heading into the 2023 season. If you're listening still, thank you. Thank you, and make sure you like, comment, subscribe, follow, share again.
Let us know what you think about it.
Let us know. Yeah, let us know what you thought of our list, and let us know what you would change. Let us know what your lists were. Let us know what you agree and disagree with. We want to hear you guys. And, yeah, we'll see you guys in the next one, which will be third baseman. Peace.